David Thompson was a flawless basketball player. What was truly unique was that you had a guy who could fly, who could soar, who could do everything physically, and then really had a game as well.
He's my inspiration. I think, as I was growing up. I grew up watching NC State. I was a David Thompson fan. I enjoyed the way he played, his aggressiveness, his scoring capabilities. And at 6'4", being able to play his game above the rim was truly amazing for any kid to watch. Before him, for me, I never saw a 6'4" guy that could jump and be as active and creative as he was. And such a potent offensive weapon.
Until Michael Jordan came along, I would say he was the best one-on-one player I had seen. I know it's a big statement to make, but he just was, in my view, totally unstoppable. When he got it rolling, there was just absolutely nothing you could do.
Long before modern players like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jason Tatum, and Anthony Edwards, long before Kobe Bryant, and even before Michael Jordan, there was another guard with a similar skill set, who amazed audiences with his incredible athleticism. I'm talking about the man they called Skywalker, David Thompson. He was a 6'4" shooting guard with a leaping ability that could be matched by very few. Legend has it that Thompson could snag a quarter off the top of the backboard, and according to him, that is in fact true. As an above-the-rim player, he was a pioneer.
The whole term and the whole measuring of vertical leap began, I think, with David Thompson. He vaulted off the ground, exploded off the ground. 44 inches was a lot. It still is a lot. You can tell when he was there above you, he surprised you.
David could jump higher than Julius, but David had smaller hands. Julius was the glider. David was the leaper.
He was one of the first players to regularly convert alley-oop dunks. He was also one of the first players to do a 360 dunk in the heat of competition.
The whole alley-oop term he created, he innovated the game in terms of playing above the rim.
He had perfected the alley-oop play. The way that he did it became a way that players who were older and more experienced began to do it.
All of that alone is enough to make him incredibly special. But like Michael Jordan, there was a polished game to go along with his freakish athleticism. Thompson's footwork was pristine, as he knew how to misdirect the opponent with minimal effort. Like MJ, there wasn't often excessive dribbling, but only necessary moves done with speed and conviction. He had one of the quickest first steps in the entire league that enabled him to blow by his defender, and then once he got to the rim, many defending centers became victims, as they did not have the vertical to match this super athlete.
The introduction of the games, they'd say, Skywalker, David Thompson, blah, 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 and the crowd would go ballistic. They go bananas. That would fire him up even before the game would start.
When I dunked the basketball, I used to cross my leg in the air, and it looked like I was walking in the air, so that was a natural name for me.
I picture David going right through the middle, driving from the side, going to the middle, rising up above the centers and jamming.
No matter the opposition, he was coming at you. David Thompson would say, I'm coming to the hoop and I'm going to throw it down in your face, and he succeeded.
Because of his tremendous speed and athleticism, it could be tempting for defenders to play off of him on the perimeter, to give themselves more time to respond to his penetration skills. But that would also be a major risk, considering how Thompson was a deadly perimeter shooter, especially when he was heating up. A great example of that came on April 9th, 1978, when it looked like Thompson couldn't miss from just about anywhere on the court. Against the Detroit Pistons, he made 20 of his first 21 shots. In the game, he had 53 points at halftime. At the end of the night, he had 73 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists on 74% shooting.
I got pretty hot in the first quarter. The guys were getting me the ball in good field position. So I kept shooting it and kept making it.
To score 73 points in a game, you got to be able to dominate that game. You got to be hitting jump shots, you got to be hitting dunks, you got to do all the different defenses, steals, things of that nature. In a 48-minute game, you got to completely dominate.
After this performance, he received a contract extension from the Denver Nuggets that paid him $4 million over the next 5 years. which at the time made him the highest paid player in all of sports. On the year as a whole, he averaged 27 points per game on 52% shooting from the field. Quite simply, he was one of the most prolific scorers of his era, as he was an All-Star and an MVP finalist in each of the first 4 seasons of his career. By the time he was 24 years of age, it looked like his career was about to ascend to some scary levels of greatness. But unfortunately, that full potential would never be realized. A devastating foot injury made him miss the final 36 games of the 1979-1980 season. That was bad enough, but during that time, his issues would go from bad to horrifically worse. Like too many players during that era, he began to struggle with substance abuse, and this addiction would grow stronger and stronger, to the point that it completely derailed his promising career. After his numbers and production inevitably plummeted, he was traded from the Nuggets to the Seattle Supersonics. The situation would hardly improve though, and after less than 2 seasons in Seattle, he had played his final game in the NBA before he even reached the age of 30. In the years since, he has been able to restore much of his life, as he became a Christian, restored his marriage, and re-entered his children's lives. But unfortunately, his days as an elite and promising superstar will always be left in the what-if territory. It's not like he didn't have a lasting impact on the league though. For goodness sake, his game inspired the style of the greatest player of all time, Michael Jordan. And the resemblance is obvious, as it's clear that MJ closely studied Thompson's footwork, offensive moves, and timing. And then athletes have continuously took inspiration from Jordan's moves ever since. So in a way, all of these elite scoring guards of the modern game all leads back to Skywalker, who soared through the air and captured imaginations of aspiring hoopers all over the country, even some who would completely redefine the game and its history.
I think it elevated through the years. When it got to me, I took it another step, and now you got kids that are taking it even on a higher scale. So it's a little David Thompson in all of us.
Who could imagine a greater player than David Thompson flying through the air? Bam! Throwing them down. When you dream of the perfect basketball player, you visualize David Thompson.
So what do you guys think? What was the potential ceiling for David Thompson if the health and substance abuse had never been a problem? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.